Hello Man United fans, welcome back to United Daily Updates. Matheus Cunha injury update. Will our new star be ready for the big Manchester derby? Picture this. You are watching Manchester United play at Old Trafford on a Saturday afternoon. The crowd is buzzing with excitement. Your new £62.5 million signing is running toward the goal, ready to make something happen. Then suddenly, he pulls up, grabs his leg, and walks straight off the pitch. Your heart sinks. Is this going to be another injury nightmare for United? This is exactly what happened to Matheus Cunha during our 3-2 win over Burnley last weekend. But before you start panicking about our Brazilian forward being out for months, there is some good news coming from Carrington. Let me tell you everything we know about Cunha's injury, what it means for our upcoming big games, and why United fans might not need to worry as much as they first thought. The moment everything changed. It was just 31 minutes into what should have been a routine Saturday afternoon at Old Trafford. Manchester United were taking on Burnley, and our new signing Matheus Cunha was looking sharp. The 26-year-old Brazilian forward was making his mark in a United shirt, showing exactly why we paid big money to bring him from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then it happened. As Cunha was making a run toward Burnley's goal, something went wrong. He suddenly pulled up, grabbed the back of his leg, and immediately knew something was not right. Within moments, he was walking toward the sideline, and United fans everywhere felt that familiar sinking feeling. We have all been here before, haven't we? How many times have we seen promising starts cut short by injuries? How many times have we watched our best players limp off the pitch just when things were going well? The sight of Cunha heading straight for the tunnel was enough to make any United fan's heart skip a beat. But here is the thing about football injuries. They are not always as bad as they first look. Sometimes what seems like a disaster turns out to be just a small bump in the road. And thankfully, this might be one of those times. What exactly happened to Cunha? When Cunha went down against Burnley, the immediate fear was that he had suffered a serious hamstring injury. Hamstring injuries are tricky things in football. They can be minor setbacks that keep a player out for a few weeks, or they can be major problems that sideline someone for months. The initial reports were not encouraging. Word started spreading that Cunha might be facing an extended period on the sidelines. For a player who had just joined United and was starting to find his rhythm, this would have been devastating news. But here is where the story gets better. Sources close to Carrington, United's training ground, started sharing more positive updates as the week went on. It turns out that those initial fears might have been overblown. So what kind of injury are we actually dealing with here? Medical experts typically classify hamstring injuries into 3 different grades. Grade 1 is the mildest, usually taking 2 to 4 weeks to heal completely. Grade 2 is more serious, often requiring 4 to 8 weeks of recovery time. Grade 3 is the worst-case scenario, sometimes needing months of rehabilitation. From what we are hearing, Cunha's injury appears to be on the lighter end of this scale. While the exact details have not been confirmed, all the signs point to something that will not keep him out for too long. The good news from Carrington. Here is where United fans can start to breathe a little easier. Reports from people with excellent connections to Carrington have been sharing much more positive news about Cunha's condition. According to these sources, initial scans showed that Cunha's injury is not as serious as first feared. This is exactly the kind of news that United supporters were hoping to hear after those scary first reports. Even better, Cunha has already started some light recovery work at the training ground. He has been doing upper body gym sessions while staying away from any running or leg work that might aggravate the injury. This is a good sign because it shows the medical team feels confident enough to have him working on his fitness in other ways. The plan is for Cunha to remain at Carrington during the international break rather than joining up with the Brazil national team. While this means he will miss out on representing his country, it is probably the smart move for his long-term fitness and United's interests. What makes this even more encouraging is that the medical team still has not confirmed exactly what type of injury Cunha has suffered. This suggests it might not even be a traditional hamstring problem at all. Sometimes what looks like a hamstring injury in the moment can turn out to be something much less serious like muscle tightness or minor strain. Cunha speaks out on social media. One of the most telling signs that this injury is not too serious came from Cunha himself. The Brazilian took to social media to thank fans for their support and messages during this time. In his post, Cunha wrote about how incredible the environment at Old Trafford was during the Burnley match. He expressed his gratitude for being part of Manchester United and promised fans that he would be back soon. Most importantly, he maintained his positive attitude, saying he would return with joy and gratitude. This kind of message is not what you would expect from a player facing months on the sidelines. When footballers suffer serious long-term injuries, their social media posts tend to be more somber and focused on the long road ahead. Cunha's upbeat tone suggests he knows this setback will not last long. The fact that he specifically said he would be back soon is particularly encouraging. Players and their representatives are usually careful about making promises about return dates unless they have good reason to be optimistic. What this means for United's big games ahead. Now let us talk about the elephant in the room. United have some massive fixtures coming up after the international break, and Cunha's availability could be crucial for how those matches go. The first big test is the Manchester derby away at the Etihad Stadium against Manchester City. This is always one of the biggest games of the season for United fans. It is a chance to get one over on our local rivals and make a statement about where this team is heading under manager Ruben Amorim. Just 1 week after the City game, United welcome Chelsea to Old Trafford. Another huge fixture against one of the Premier League's traditional big clubs. These back-to-back matches against top-level opposition will tell us a lot about United's ambitions for this season. Both of these games feel particularly important for Amorim. The Portuguese manager is still relatively new in his role and will be eager to prove he can get results in the biggest matches. Having Cunha available would give him more options in attack and help the team maintain the momentum from recent good performances. The question is, will Cunha be ready in time for these crucial fixtures? If we assume his injury is indeed a grade 1 hamstring strain that needs 2 to 4 weeks to heal, the timing becomes very tight. The international break gives him about 2 weeks to recover before the City game. That might be cutting it close, but it is not impossible. The Chelsea match, coming a week later, seems like a more realistic target for Cunha's return if he needs the full 4 weeks of recovery time. But given all the positive signs we have been hearing, there is a chance he could be ready even sooner than that. The bigger picture for United's attack. Cunha's injury also raises questions about United's attacking options and depth in the forward positions. When you spend over £60 million on a player, you expect him to be available for the big games. His absence, even if temporary, puts more pressure on other players to step up. The good news is that United have shown they can still win games without their new signing. The victory over Burnley proved that the team has enough quality to get results even when key players are missing. Joshua Zirkzee came on to replace Cunha and help the team maintain their attacking threat. But there is no denying that Cunha brings something special to United's forward line. His pace, movement, and ability to find space in the penalty area are exactly what this team has been missing. His partnership with other attacking players was just starting to develop before this injury setback. This situation also highlights the importance of having good squad depth. Football is a long season, and injuries are inevitable. The teams that succeed are usually the ones that can cope when key players are unavailable. From that perspective, Cunha's injury might actually be a blessing in disguise if it forces other players to step up and show what they can do. It could also give Amorim a chance to try different tactical approaches and see how the team functions with alternative lineups. Learning from past injury situations. Manchester United fans have unfortunately become experts at dealing with injury concerns over the years. We have seen too many promising seasons derailed by fitness problems, and too many key players spend months on the treatment table when they should have been on the pitch. But we have also learned that not every injury scare turns into a long-term problem. Sometimes the initial fears prove to be unfounded, and players return much quicker than anyone expected. The key is usually in how the medical team handles the recovery process. Rushing a player back too soon can turn a minor problem into a major one. But being too cautious can also mean missing important games unnecessarily. From everything we are hearing about Cunha's situation, it sounds like United's medical staff are taking a sensible approach. They are being careful not to take any risks, but they are also not treating this as a major long-term concern. The decision to keep Cunha at Carrington during the international break rather than letting him join up with Brazil shows they are prioritizing his recovery while also keeping him close to the club's medical facilities. This seems like smart planning. The role of modern sports medicine. One thing that gives United fans reason for optimism is how much sports medicine has advanced in recent years. The tools and techniques available for diagnosing and treating injuries are far better than they were even just a decade ago. Modern scanning technology can give medical teams a much clearer picture of exactly what is wrong with an injured player. This means they can create more targeted treatment plans and give more accurate predictions about recovery times. Recovery methods have also improved dramatically. From specialized training programs to advanced physiotherapy techniques, players today have access to resources that can speed up the healing process and reduce the risk of re-injury. United's medical facilities at Carrington are among the best in world football. The club has invested heavily in making sure they have everything needed to keep players fit and get them back to action as quickly and safely as possible. All of this suggests that even if Cunha's injury had been more serious than it appears to be, he would still be in the best possible hands for his recovery. The fact that early indications are positive makes the outlook even brighter. What United fans should expect. So what should United supporters be thinking about Cunha's injury situation as we head into the international break? Here are the key points to keep in mind. First, try not to panic. Yes, seeing your new star signing go off injured is never pleasant, but all the evidence suggests this is not a major long-term problem. The positive updates from Carrington, Cunha's own social media message, and his quick start to recovery work all point to a relatively minor setback. Second, be patient with the return timeline. Even if this turns out to be a grade 1 hamstring strain that only needs 2 to 4 weeks to heal completely, there is no point in rushing Cunha back before he is fully ready. Better to miss 1 or 2 games now than to risk a more serious injury later in the season. Third, trust in the squad depth. United have other attacking players who can step up while Cunha recovers. This might even be an opportunity for someone else to grab their chance and show what they can offer the team. Finally, remember that injuries are part of football. Every team deals with them, and the successful clubs are the ones that handle them best. United have experienced medical staff, good facilities, and enough quality in the squad to cope with temporary absences. The international break advantage. One silver lining to the timing of Cunha's injury is that it has happened just before an international break. This gives him nearly 2 weeks of recovery time without United missing him for any important fixtures. International breaks can be frustrating for fans who just want to watch their team play, but they can be valuable for injured players who need time to get back to full fitness. Cunha can focus entirely on his recovery without any pressure to return for upcoming matches. The medical team can also take their time to make sure they understand exactly what they are dealing with. Rather than having to make quick decisions about his availability for the next game, they can conduct thorough assessments and create the best possible recovery plan. By the time United's next fixture comes around, Cunha should be much closer to full fitness. Even if he is not quite ready for the Manchester derby, he should be making good progress toward a return. Looking ahead to the derby. The Manchester derby is always one of the most anticipated fixtures of the season for United fans. It is a chance to measure how we compare to our local rivals and potentially gain some bragging rights in the city. Cunha's potential absence for this game would be disappointing, but it would not be the end of the world. United have won derby matches before without their star signings, and they can do it again if necessary. What matters most is that the team goes into the game with confidence and a clear game plan. If Cunha is available, great. If not, Amorim will need to find alternative ways to threaten City's defense. The key for United will be maintaining the positive momentum from recent performances regardless of which players are available. Good teams find ways to win even when they are not at full strength. The importance of squad management. This situation with Cunha also highlights the importance of good squad management throughout a long season. Football is unpredictable, and managers need to be ready to adapt when circumstances change. Amorim will be hoping this is just a minor blip that tests the squad's resilience rather than a sign of bigger problems to come. How the team responds to this challenge could set the tone for how they handle adversity throughout the rest of the campaign. The positive response to Cunha's injury so far suggests that the squad mentality is strong. Players seem ready to step up when needed, and there is no sense of panic about the situation. This kind of attitude will be crucial as the season progresses and United inevitably face more injury challenges along the way. What we can learn from this experience. Even though Cunha's injury appears to be relatively minor, there are still lessons that United can take from this experience. First, it reinforces the importance of having good medical procedures in place for dealing with injuries quickly and effectively. The fast response from the medical team and the positive early updates suggest that United systems are working well. Second, it shows the value of keeping injured players at the training ground rather than letting them go away on international duty when they are not fully fit. This allows for better monitoring and more focused recovery work. Third, it demonstrates the importance of having squad depth and players who are ready to contribute when called upon. Football squads are not just about the first 11 players. Everyone needs to be ready to play their part. Finally, it highlights how important communication is during injury situations. Clear, honest updates help manage expectations and keep fans informed about what is happening. The road to recovery. As Cunha continues his recovery at Carrington, the focus will be on making steady progress toward full fitness. The medical team will be monitoring his condition closely and adjusting his training program based on how he responds to different activities. The fact that he has already started doing upper body work is encouraging, but the real test will come when he begins running again. Hamstring injuries can be tricky because they often feel better before they are actually fully healed. United's medical staff will want to be absolutely certain that Cunha is ready before clearing him to return to full training. This might mean being conservative with timelines, but it is the right approach for long-term success. Fans should expect regular updates as his recovery progresses, especially as we get closer to the return of competitive fixtures after the international break. Final thoughts and what comes next. So where does this leave Manchester United and Matheus Cunha as we head into a crucial period of the season? The early signs are much more positive than anyone had a right to expect after seeing him limp off the pitch against Burnley. What looked like it could have been a major setback now appears to be a minor bump in the road. Cunha's positive attitude, the encouraging medical reports, and his quick start to recovery work all suggest that he will be back in action sooner rather than later. The exact timing of his return remains uncertain, but United fans have good reason to be optimistic. Whether he makes it back for the Manchester derby or needs to wait another week or two, the important thing is that this does not appear to be a long-term problem. In the meantime, this situation gives other players a chance to step up and show what they can contribute to the team. It also tests United's squad depth and resilience in the face of adversity. Most importantly, it reminds us all that football is unpredictable and that successful teams are the ones that can adapt when things do not go according to plan. From everything we have seen so far, United appear to be handling this challenge in exactly the right way. As we wait for more updates on Cunha's recovery, United fans can take comfort in knowing that their new star signing is in good hands and working hard to get back on the pitch where he belongs. The best days of his United career are still ahead of him, and this minor setback will soon be forgotten once he is back scoring goals in a red shirt. The message is clear: stay positive, be patient, and trust in the process. Cunha will be back soon, and when he returns, he will be ready to help United achieve their ambitions for this season and beyond. The Manchester derby might come too soon, but there are plenty more big games ahead where our Brazilian forward can make his mark.